Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another PoE2 video. This time we're gonna go to my Mercenary that I've been playing. He's level 24, so I'm just about to do the trial of Sekhmet's, and I figured I'd do kind of a video on him, an Act 2, mid-Act 2 video for him, and kind of the build that I'm using. So we're gonna go through the skills, the passive tree so far, even though there's not a lot. The items, there's one item that's very important for it. The rest is, I mean, I haven't been paying too much attention to it other than the one item, which is the crossbow. But let's get right into it. I'll show the skills for it. So the bulk of it comes from grenades, and that comes from throwing out a flash grenade at mobs first, then gas grenades, and then explosive grenades, and then detonating that with explosive shot. So what it'll kind of look like, I'll get rid of the shot right there, is that, and then that is the flash grenade, which is meant to blind enemies and then causes a very healthy amount of stun buildup. I do have it with the 50% more stun, so that is why. That's the first thing I toss out. It's good for blinding enemies, which means that they'll miss you more often if they're trying to hit. And then the follow-up to that is the gas grenades, which explodes, causing a poison cloud, which can then later be detonated. On that, I've got the bursting plague and the corrosion support gems. So corrosion just breaks armor, and then the bursting plague increases the poison damage. And then finally, it's the explosive grenade, which I don't think needs to be explained too much. There, I've got second win on it, so twice as many cooldown uses and then 50% less cooldown recovery rate. And then the other supported skill for it is scatter shot, which fires 2 additional projectiles. It does lessen the damage and the attack speed, but I don't really think that's too big of a problem. So kind of what it looks like is this is the first thing that goes out, then I'll put a couple of these in, and then let that go out, and then it just all detonates. So I'll probably do, I might actually probably just do the trial of the Sekhmet's, but to kind of show that real quick is just that. I believe that the enemy that is back there is actually causing I think the tornado eats those. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. In terms of the passive tree, let's take a look at that. Just a lot of projectile damage. I also have the increased area of effect and cooldown recovery rate, as well as going more into projectile damage. Then we're going down here and I'm trying to get more AoE, and then also projectile speed and projectile, and projectile damage. So that's kind of the direction we're heading in. I'm not ultimately sure where this build's gonna go for endgame, but this is pretty much what we've got right now. The important part, oh, I forgot to mention that I also have, for when just the grenades aren't really doing their job and I'm not killing stuff fast enough and things get a little spicy, I do have, where is it? I do have permafrost bolts with the chain and the additional shot. And then paired with that is the fragmentation rounds. And then paired with that is the 25% chance not to consume a bolt and extra physical damage and no elemental damage, which is fine. The way that looks is actually really cool with the chain effect. It's just if things get a little tough, the reload speed is crazy right now, but, oh wow, a lot of enemies. This is actually not the scenario for it because it's usually less enemies, but you can kind of get a gist of how it works. So again, the fragmentation round is really good against frozen enemies. So that's kind of why I pair them together. And it is really cool. I mean, it freezes stuff pretty quickly due to the chain hits. Yeah, and then that way, when the frozen enemies explode, they do more damage. However, again, that's not really the bulk of that's not really what I'm using. Again, this is more of the setup that I like. Show it better over here. Yeah, so it's those two, that, and then boop, it just explodes everything. You can blind yourself. I haven't really noticed that big of a impact on blinding myself. And if you need to finish off enemies, the nice thing is that the explosive shot actually just does a pretty decent amount of damage on its own, as you can see. But it is better when it's paired, so. Okay, and then in terms of our items, that's not what I meant to do. In terms of our items, the important one for me right now is just this crossbow that lets you load an additional bolt. Other than that, I haven't been paying too much attention to my gear just yet. I did have a little bit of trouble on the boss for the unlocking the Trial of the Sekhmet. So, I mean, I ended up making sure that I put more orbs of augmentation into my gear so that they had a minimum of 2 benefits to it. That's pretty much all I did, but the big one is just that additional bolt, which is really clutch. You can, if you don't, it's very situational. If you're not a fan of the permafrost bolts and the fragmentation rounds setup, just take the extra shot off of permafrost bolts and you can put it onto explosive shot if you think that might be better. I just like the freezing for when the grenades just aren't working out. There has been situations where that is the case, where it's just better to kind of freeze everything and then do the fragmentation rounds. But for the most part, the grenade combination is gonna do everything you need it to do. And I actually leveled up in the middle of that, so that is it. I am gonna go to the Trial of the Sekhmet, and I will probably do just some gameplay there with it and some commentary on top of it. So let's get to that. So the terrain generator in the game is broken and it won't actually let me go into the Trial of the Sekhmet. So that's quite a bummer actually, because I don't know when that's going to get fixed. And I really want to do my Ascendancy, but I will let the gameplay go from here. We're in the Titan Grotto and it'll kind of just show off the class. I wanted to do kind of a commentary over the last couple of rooms in the trial, but just literally won't work right now. I've tried pretty much everything I can right now. Restarted the game, restarted the instance. Yeah, I don't know what else to do, so we're just gonna do this. But I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gonna let the gameplay kind of just show off what the build does. Also, I have made a guild in the game just for people looking for help. I usually in the chat section over there usually like to go and help people that are struggling, so feel free to join the guild, and that will just make it easier for me to join people that are looking for groups or looking for help, because I'm more than happy to do that pretty much at any time. So the information for that will be in the description.
Surprise! More time! sec. Need more time. Need more time. Need more time. Not yet. Thought I was cooked for sure.